Trees around us. These ancient forests looked different from our woods of today. Most trees which grew in the ancient forests were of the fern family. They usually grew to about shrub size. Trees like this grew in New York State more than 300 million years ago. That's a Gilboa fern tree. Individual trees which existed millions of years ago are now extinct. Here's an example of the Naples tree. We know that these trees existed in ancient times because of fossils left in rock. On the left is a stump, in the middle is roots, and on the right are branches. The ginkgo tree, found in many parks in the United States, is considered a living fossil because it lived millions of years ago. Today, in the United States, there are basically 3 kinds of trees. On the left is a conifer, in the middle is a broadleaf, and on the right is a palm. Conifers usually have either needle-like or scaly leaves, and their seeds contained in cones. There's the redwood on the left, the red spruces in the middle, and the eastern white pine on the right. Broadleaf trees come in many varieties. Their seeds are usually fruits, nuts, or berries. On the left is the hickory tree, then showing a compound leaf, and on the right is a northern red oak, showing a lobed leaf. Which is your favorite? Our few native palm trees can be recognized by their unusual fronds. They need the warm tropical climates of Florida and the Southwest. On the left is the cabbage palmetto. In the middle, the Washington palm, and on the right, the coconut palm. A tree may sometimes be recognized by its bark. In the upper left corner is the honey locust. Upper middle, the white pine. Upper right, the eucalyptus. Lower left, the white birch. Middle bottom, the Norway maple. And the right bottom is the sycamore. Some trees are known for their beautiful blossoms. For example, on the left, the dogwood. In the middle, the magnolia, and on the right, the horse chestnut. In the fall and winter, deciduous trees lose their leaves, and they are hard to recognize. It is possible to know a tree in winter by its twigs and buds. Starting on the left is the Norway maple, then the silver maple, then the hickory, then the shagbark hickory, next the white ash, and lastly the black ash. Trees begin their lives from seeds. In conifers, the seeds are located in the scales of the cone. See the pinyon pine seeds on the left? There's an eastern white pine cone in the middle, and a ponderosa pine on the right. At the edge of this woods, a young spruce forest is beginning as the cones fall near the mother tree. The seeds of the many different varieties of oak are called acorns. Starting in the upper left is the scarlet oak. In the middle upper is the blackjack oak, and in the upper right is the water oak. The lower left is the shingle oak. The lower bottom is the willow oak, and the lower right is the canyon live oak. The coconut palm seed is spread to other lands by water. The wind helps to disperse some tree seeds, like the maple on the left or the sycamore on the right. The roots, trunk, and leaves are the 3 important parts of a tree. Each has its function in keeping the tree alive. The roots are in the ground, the trunk gives it support, and the leaves are at the top. The roots of a tree help to keep it anchored in the ground. Root hairs take in water and minerals from the soil. The close-up there is of the root hairs. Water passes up from the roots, through the trunk, branches, and twigs to the stems of the leaves. Leaves take in air. Water, air, and sunlight make sugar that the tree needs to grow in a chemical reaction called photosynthesis. Maybe it's not a chemical reaction. Just inside the bark of a tree is the important Cambium Layer. Here the cells are growing and dividing. The center of the tree is called the pith. Then the wood. Then outer side there's the cambium, and then lastly the bark. As the cells die, the walls of the cell become hard. Bundles of dead cells form wood. Counting the rings from the center outward will tell the age of the tree, this tree. On the left it's only 15 years, next it's 20, and then on the right, 70. Trees are useful. They supply us with many wood products, like furniture, paper, turpentine, building materials, resin, and even maple sugar. Many fruits and nuts we eat come from trees, like cherries and pears, black walnuts, pecans, even peaches. Forests offer homes to our wildlife. Our national parks give us quiet enjoyment among the trees. We should always be careful with fire, as our forest must be preserved. Trees help soil hold water. Flooding and erosion take place where no trees exist. Tree planting beside our city streets will give us beauty and shade. On a walk through an eastern woods near a stream, you may see a weeping willow. The unusual Joshua tree is found in the southwest and parts of the deep south. Indians grind its seeds for food. This giant cactus tree grows in our desert areas of Arizona. It is not a true tree. Wow! In California, we see giant redwood trees which have been living for more than 2,000 years. That's the General Sherman tree in the Sequoia National Park. I wonder if it's still around today. Washington palms are native to our southwest. The dead, drooping fronds sometimes cover its trunk. In the swamps of the south, bald cypress grow out of the water. Old bumps called knees grow around their roots. How would you recognize the different trees during the 4 seasons? Do you remember? Are these trees placed correctly on the map? The end.